In today's video, we are going to talk about sleep deprivation, which is a form of coercive control in abusive relationships. If this is something that interests you, then please stay tuned to find out more. Now, sleep deprivation is a well-recognized feature of many abusive relationships, and it can occur deliberately as a form of coercive control, or indirectly as a consequence of living in a chronically threatening environment. Either way, it can have profound effects on a person's physical health, nervous system, emotional regulation, and their ability to think clearly. Now, what does sleep deprivation look like in abusive relationships? Sleep deprivation in abusive relationships is intentional. So the abusive partner will deliberately prevent the other person from sleeping by either starting arguments really late at night, by demanding to have conversations with them for hours, by waking them up repeatedly, or by playing really loud music or banging doors late at night. They may insist that their partner stays awake in order to prove their love to them. And if they are apart, they will constantly text or call their partner, waking them up so they can check on them, so they can control them. And lastly, they will monitor or control when their partner actually goes to bed. So even if their partner is getting tired and needs to go to bed earlier, the abusive partner will delay the time that they go to bed. They will keep them up as late as possible. Now, why does an abusive partner do this? Well, we all need our sleep. Sleep is extremely important for our health. So it's an abusive tactic which destabilizes their partner. It weakens their partner's ability to think clearly. And also it weakens them towards the constant manipulation and control that the abusive partner inflicts on them. Now, we also have something which is known as indirect sleep deprivation. And this happens without deliberate interference, but because this person is already in an abusive relationship and has had years and years of abuse, they experience chronic sleep disruption because they are in a constant state of hypervigilance. They're constantly anticipating conflict. They feel unsafe in their own home, in their own bed, and they will constantly replay arguments in their head and anticipate when the next one's going to happen. They will experience nightmares or intrusive memories. And of course, they will have constant anxiety and have CPTSD symptoms. Their nervous system remains in a state of heightened alertness, making sleep very, very difficult. Now, if we go into the effects of sleep deprivation in a bit more detail, the victim in this case will have so much difficulty concentrating and remembering things. They will have increased emotional reactivity. They will suffer with anxiety and depression. They will have lower frustration tolerance. They will even have reduced confidence in their own judgment, which makes them easier to gaslight. So this is why the abusive partner uses sleep deprivation, because then they can gaslight them even more. And because they are so tired, they will be easier to gaslight. They will be more confused about what is really going on. And of course, let's not forget, there will be physical exhaustion and also lowered immunity. So the victim will get sick more often because they're not sleeping enough. And the abusive partner, the narcissistic partner in this case, will find it so much easier to manipulate the victim. When the victim's brain is exhausted, when their body is exhausted, they aren't able to evaluate situations objectively anymore. They won't remember events accurately. They won't be able to set boundaries or make decisions. It will make them question themselves more and more. And of course, this can happen separately to actually being gaslighted by their partner. And let's not forget, when a victim is sleep deprived and also in a coercively controlling relationship, they will also become more isolated from other people around them because they wouldn't have the energy to pick up the phone and see a friend. Their partner will be controlling that as well. So everything that the abusive person does is deliberate. They know what they're doing. They are wanting complete control of their partner. And they will continue these tactics unless the victim is able to leave the relationship. Now, when we look at this from a trauma-informed perspective, sleep is one of the things, the first things that are affected when a person no longer feels safe. And this happens because the nervous system prioritizes survival over restoration. Instead of settling into a deep sleep, it remains alert to any possible danger. And many survivors that have been sleep deprived describe sleeping lightly, waking at the slightest sound, feeling exhausted despite spending many hours in bed. And this can continue for years after they've been in this abusive relationship. But with recovery, the longer they have been away from the abusive partner, the better it is, because they will start being able to feel safe. Very slowly, but their sleep will improve over time, especially if they establish consistent routines. They try and go to bed at the same time every night. They exercise during the day. They do things to tire themselves out. They maybe listen to meditations before going to bed. They do a lot of nervous system regulations such as mindfulness, deep breathing, grounding, any sort of somatic exercises, yoga, and of course reducing any sort of evening stimulation. And sometimes medical support is necessary, especially if the victim suffers with insomnia. If they are really struggling, then sometimes it is helpful to have a doctor help them out at the beginning. So that's the end of the video. Unfortunately, it wasn't a very uplifting topic today. Thank you so much for your attention. Take care, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye-bye.